to WRPB and WRPB Studios. So the young lady sitting next to me is really, she changed her area of expertise. She was in the restaurant industry and she went into, I'm going to guess, baking?
Yes.
Into baking. And I always love when people who are in the food industry come in here because almost always they remember to bring something for me to eat, which is the best. But with me is Kara Oliver.
Yes.
Okay, and it's Cakes of Care and Care with a K.
Yes. Cakes of Kare with a K. I specialize in custom cakes and cupcakes. And my motto is that I'm pouring love, care, and prayer into every cake that I bake because my life has been transformed through Jesus Christ. And I just want to spread the good news and the good food at the same time.
So you've been around the food industry for quite some time,
Yes.
and now you went from the restaurant industry, I guess, into the baking industry.
Yes. So I was in the restaurant industry for 15 years. I started out as a hostess and a busser when my mom was actually a bar manager in Jupiter. And then at 18 years old, I became a waitress. Once I was waitressing, there's always like the restaurant lifestyle that
Yep.
comes with working in the restaurant. And I just learned early on how to live that life, and it didn't serve me very well. I became a line cook. I learned how to cook, and I just really spent most of my 20s in that industry. And I picked up a lot of tips and tricks and just, parts of the trade along the way to where when the opportunity was presented for me just to start a home baked company, just baking from home, a home bakery under the cottage laws, I ran with it. And that's what I've been doing.
So there's a couple industries that are like the restaurant industry, and hair salon and hairstylists. They're a group that group together and go out constantly party. The restaurant industry, same thing. They get together and they constantly party. And in the restaurant industry, it's pretty easy because a lot of times you're in a restaurant that has alcohol, and I mean that could just take over your life. Um, Owning bars in the past, for me, I seen what people went through and how brutal it became. So now you're baking cakes, and is it self-taught?
So I actually did an internship at a local bakery, and it just didn't work out there. And that's when my mom actually is a life coach with Warriors Life Coach.
Okay.
She suggested that I just pursue the passion I have for making the cakes. My kids wanted me to do it as well. They actually helped me come up with the name. And I've just really gone from there. The restaurant industry, it didn't destroy my life. I destroyed my life being in that industry. I couldn't handle it anymore. So that's why I chose not to go back to that. I actually found recovery. I have 2 years sober.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
I worked really hard. I've worked really hard on that sobriety, and I'm not giving it away for nothing. So I'm not going back to that industry. I'm choosing my own path. And this is what the Lord brought to me, and this is where I'm going.
How many kids do you have?
I have a 6-year-old son named Josh and an 8-year-old little girl named Joy.
Uh, Joy now because she's only 8 years old.
Yes.
But raising a daughter is brutal, as you well know, because you were one.
Yes.
Okay, and still are. But that 12 to 18 years for me with my daughter was really tough. Now she's older than you, and I'm blessed because she's a pretty amazing woman. And when you start a business, you try to start it for your kids. My daughter doesn't need it. She makes more money than all of us put together. She travels the world. She's living her best life, and I'm happy. She lived in D.C. for a while. Now she lives in Napa, so she's doing okay. But I also changed my world because I was in real estate. That's where I made my money. Now I had owned bars because of the money I made in real estate. But when I moved to Florida, I was doing cell phones because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have my real estate license here. And I got on the air on someone else's show with a guy who worked with me in the same company. And when we were done, we said, we got to do this. And that's how I fell into this industry and interviewing people. And I've done like 80,000 of them. But I'm always interested in a couple of points. So you go out to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Did you have family support?
Yes, I do have support from my grandfather, who he's 77 years old now, and he still works. He says the day you stop working is the day you die. And my mom, who, like I said, she does life coaching. She's also the administration liaison with the church that we go to.
Okay.
So she works in the church, and I've had a lot of support just from the church, my church. Also from, I work with 2 different ministries. So I'm a recent graduate of the Refuge Ranch out in Okeechobee and Love Unveiled Ministry, which is about women discipling other women. So I just have a lot of support around me just to pursue the passion that the Lord's given me. You know, I can be stuck in a dead-end job. I can do what the world wants me to do, or I can really be patient, wait on the Lord, let Him provide, and do what I love to do, which is just bringing joy to others. And
Job, just over broke. That's what a job is.
yes.
Okay. Being an entrepreneur, you have to be a little crazy. And if you're an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar, you're even more crazy. And if you're an entrepreneur with a brick and mortar in the food industry, you're really crazy. That's a crazy industry. So, what kind of cakes do you bake, or what do you bake?
So all my ingredients are fresh. I have right now 6 specialty flavors that I do. This one here is a lemon blackberry flavor, which the combination of lemon and blackberry is my favorite. It's just nice and fresh. I do a chocolate covered strawberry, and I actually make videos of all this on Facebook as I'm
Cool.
making it. So you can see what's going on, what's going in the cakes, and it's fresh strawberries, chocolate ganache in that one. And then I have a caramel cookies and cream, which is one of my favorite. I love the combination of cookies and cream mixed with a caramel swirl. And those are my 3 specialty flavors. And then I have vanilla, chocolate, marble, your normals. And I can also do like stacked tiered cakes, the fancy wedding cakes. I have invested into this entire opportunity to create a cake when someone calls, so I am ready to go. I actually recently passed out samples, about 10 in Hope Sound to local businesses with cards, and they were little 4-inch mini cakes, and about 6 in downtown Stewart. I just randomly chose businesses wherever the Lord was leading me, and I dropped business cards off and free cake. No one turned me down or shut the door. Everyone wants free cake.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was able to get the word out that way.
You came in and you came to the door with a box, and I was really happy to open the door for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And I tried to design it, based on the palm trees, and I watched a couple of your videos so I could get that logo in there for you.
So, do you have an area that you kind of, for lack of a better word, want to specialize in? Meaning, Treasure Coast, Stewart, Port St. Lucie. I mean, where do you want to?
Pretty much the Treasure Coast. I'm a born and raised Hope Sound local. There's not many of us left. So HSL. And I go all the way up to Stewart. I actually delivered a cake in Port St. Lucie. So, I add a couple dollars extra on for gas.
Delivery.
But if you're in Hope Sound, I don't even do that. Hope Sound's so small that if you need it, just come. You can come pick it up, or I'll meet you wherever you need to meet.
Well, Hope Sound's small for you, but I'm in PSL, so going to Hope Sound is a drive for
yeah,
me.
and that's why I deliver as well. So,
Okay.
I've had some people pick it up at my house, or I'll deliver. So either way, I'm very versatile, and that's what I think makes it a lot easier to be in this industry, is I want to cater to what makes it easier for a customer.
So I'd asked you if you had family support, and you said yes. What about your kids? Do they support what you do?
Yes, my daughter actually asked me, she wanted me to work at that bakery. When that didn't work out, she's like, Mom, why can't you just bake? And they helped me come up with the name Cakes of Care. And they're happy because I get to be there for their functions, for their events. I can work my schedule around their school days. So I'm actually present in their lives more than I'd ever been. In the restaurant industry, the hours are so crazy that you rely on other people raising your kids. And I didn't want to do that.
Well, in the restaurant industry, it's a lifestyle more than a job or a career. But as a kid, how bad is it if mom makes cake?
Right.
Okay.
They had cake pops coming home yesterday because I was experimenting with cake pops.
Okay. What's the future of your company? I mean, where do you want to see it go?
I just want to provide as many cakes as possible to anyone possible. So if someone needs an event or a business needs an event, I want to be the person providing those cakes, because I know I'm actually pouring the right ingredients, what's needed into these cakes. I'm not just buying something at Publix that's frozen for 3 months. You're getting a cake that's baked fresh that week. And I just really want to see that expand as much as possible.
Are you ever thinking that you'll grow your business into a brick and mortar location, or you want to stay as a cottage industry?
Right now, cottage industry. 10 years, only the Lord knows what's going to happen then.
Okay. I mean, I think that the industry that you're in, the cottage industry, is great. Um, it allows you to focus on perfecting your skill and not working on the front counter, not worrying about how everything is displayed and who's walking in the door. We discussed my wife's a chocolatier, and that business is a cottage industry. And its reason it's a cottage industry is because she is totally focused on what she's doing, designing her flavors and stuff. And if she had to stop and go make a sale at the front door or take an order, it changes, in her mind, it changes what she has and what she's doing. And for her also, she doesn't stock anything. She makes everything custom. So you don't walk in and say, hey, I'll take 6 of those pieces of chocolate or in the cake industry, I'll take that cake. You just said it. The cake could sit for a week, a month, 2 months. And not that it's going to go bad, but it's not the same as it comes out when you're making it specifically one cake.
It's not quality. What we really need is quality in this industry. You want it to taste the best, be the best. And by using fresh ingredients, that's what I try to do. With every cake, I make fresh buttercream frosting. I don't stock it or freeze it. I don't freeze my cakes. You see some of those videos where people freeze cakes and they pour simple syrup into them to get them to freshen back up. And I'm like, why? As long as someone gives me 48 to 36 hours notice in advance, I'll make you a custom cake.
So you don't use whipped cream,
I can make whipped cream.
but it's not.
I prefer buttercream. It tastes better. I use a hybrid combination of American and Swiss meringue buttercream. I've kind of hybrided that into a special combination to where it's light, fluffy, but not too sweet. You'll be able to taste that when you eat the cake. And this one actually has a filling of blackberry cream cheese.
Oh, wow. So is any of this that you do come from when you worked at the bakery, or is it all out of your head and your mind?
So I've learned a lot from the internet, but I also did do that internship, and I learned a lot there. But really nowadays, if you just have the ambition, drive, and you're a quick learner, you can do it yourself. I don't advise that. I advise you calling Cakes of Care, so I can do it for you.
Right,
But
I get that.
I love to do it. It's a passion that I believe the Lord fired inside me. I prayed. I said, Lord, what do you want me to do in this life? And, the Bible says he blesses us when we work with our hands. And I just want to do his work through my hands.
And it's interesting because we look at how it used to be. Go to college, get a degree, go to college, but the plumber, the electric, all the people that work with their hands now are making more money than the ones that have degrees.
You have a life degree when you work with your hands.
Right. And it's something like plumbing will never go away. Electric will never go away. Okay. Those are things that need to be done. And if you're an AC mechanic today in our 100 and something degree weather, you're busy as anything.
Yeah, you're living a life.
Yeah, you are living a life. Except you're out there in the heat, but you're living the life. How do people find you?
You can find me on Facebook. So like I said, I'm making the videos. And I mean, who doesn't need a sweet treat or a cake? I had someone ask me for a vegan recipe. Yeah, I'll try anything. Because the worst that happened is I can't do it, and I'll let you know I can't do it.
So, find you on Facebook under what?
Cakes of Care. So, really
Cakes
simple.
with a C, Care with a K.
So, just like my name.
Okay.
So, I actually have my personal profile, Kara Oliver, and everything's linked to that.
All right.
But then also, if you just text my phone number or my phone, I mean, if my hands are decorating something or busy, I won't pick up. But typically, I'm accessible.
What's the phone number?
772-277-1206.
Everybody, I'm going to tell you, like I always say, so can you bake a cake like that? That might take you 5 hours. Why would you want to do that when what the cake would cost you to have someone do it for you is less than or 5 hours that you can spend with your family or doing what you do and what you're an expert at. So check out Cakes for Care.
Cakes of Care.
Cakes of Care. I had 2 of the letters right. Of and for. Cakes of Care. Care with a K. And, just think about how pleased people are when they'll eat a cake that's made from a professional and not out of a Duncan Hines box. Okay?
Right.
Because that's what people are going to do. Okay? Why not for you, for even for yourself, have the best. Kara, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody, check her out, and we'll be right back.